Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode Season 2. I am starting our episode in the Explodey Room of Explodiness, and I want to firstly apologize that yesterday's video was age restricted. That was not meant to happen, and it wasn't intentional. I just didn't check a check mark that I needed to check, and that happened. So I will try and see if that doesn't happen again. And also, I recorded half of this episode, and I looked back at the footage, and we have deep voice Viki again. So I'm just going to record everything again, and I'm just going to show you what I did. So as you can see, the Wither is getting automatically killed and respawned, and we have everything doing its thing in a proper way. So over here, we have an ender chest with a stack of Wither skeleton skulls and a stack of soul sand always inside. And then we have some conduits extracting that into the phantom placers with a limited item filter. So we're going to keep 16 soul sand as soon as this gets used up. It's only going to keep 16 in the phantom placer. And we have pretty much the same thing on the other side. We have an ender chest back there and a conduit, same going down here, as you can see. And that is keeping 16 Wither skeleton skulls. So then up top, if we go to our temporary base, we have this magical contraption that you have seen in Stone Block 2, if you have been following me from then. So we have a material stonework factory creating us sand, which is being extracted and put into this drawer. And then we extract the sand into the stone barrels, which are filled with water generally. But since this drawer is full, they're currently just filled with soul sand. But this guy provides all the water. The water then, because it's sitting on mycelium in the stone barrel, slowly converts into witch water. And then witch water, if you put sand into it, it makes soul sand. And you can see that here. It's transforming up top, and it's going to make a bucket of witch water. A sand is going to go into it, and then it's going to get extracted once we run out of, once we need a bit more soul sand to fill this drawer. And then underneath here, we have this conduit, which is extracting, with a limited item filter, 64 soul sand into the ender chest that we have downstairs. And then for the Wither skeleton skulls, we have that set up by our drawers over here. So exact same thing, limited item filter, extracting from the drawer on down 64 Wither skeleton skulls. So these we will auto farm with a Wither skeleton spawner that we're going to get into soon. Possibly not, probably not today, but soon. Soon. So that is making us automatic nether stars. And over here, we also have a storage for the essence. I just made this Demonically Gargantuan drum, which required a whole bunch of things. So for the drum, we need a demonic large plates, which are made in the metal press with blocks of demon metal. Demon metal we have made before. It's just gold tossed in lava surrounded by nether brick. And then we needed climb bottles, which are bottles of enchanting, which I've made with some experience chunks. And then we needed ender dust and clear glass. Clear glass we can make in the smeltery by melting sand or glass. And then the ender dust is made with the quartz grindstone and grinding ender pearls. So I did that for a bit, and we made exactly one Demonically Gargantuan drum, and we might make more on stream. And then for the reinforced large drum, the recipe is like this, and then the iron drum, the recipe is like this, and then the stone drum, recipes like this. So it's a whole lot of nesting and complexity. And we have one more thing that we have for control. Right over here, we have the level emitter set to 1,000 nether stars, and that is emitting a signal into this redstone transmitter, which is linked up on the bottom at the Wither killer. I believe back behind this guy, we trigger the piston, so it's extended once we have less than 1,000 nether stars in the system, which is pretty much now, because we have 199, which is not bad. So that is going to keep that extended, and as soon as we get 1,000, it's going to retract. And if we need more nether stars than what we have currently, or if we need more than 1,000, we can just change the number up here and restart the machine again. But I think we're going to probably run out of Wither skeleton skulls before we do anything like that, but we shall see. So now that we have a whole bunch of Supremium Essence, and we're going to be constantly getting more, I believe 4 per Wither, we can actually start crafting it down into all of the other essences and actually making some seeds from mystical agriculture. But for that, we're gonna need to set some stuff up. So I have the Starlight crafting altar prepared, and I have removed, I think it was right over there, the hole with the crystal. And I have a bunch of marbles here as well. So we're gonna just set up the altar somewhere. I was looking at my island here, looking at the area here, and I think this side over here is gonna be better because we have more and more space. And this seems like a good spot to have the altar because we're gonna need sky access and we're gonna be upgrading it as we go. So I think possibly just like right here, it really doesn't matter if it's too centered with anything, but that will be our Starlight crafting altar. And we need to build some stuff around it, and I believe it's in the attunement tab we can find. No, it's in the wrong. It's the exploration tab. There it is. Starlight crafting altar. So here we're required to make this structure, and there is a mod called Enigmatica in the pack, and I'm gonna figure out which hotkeys trigger all the things, and I'm gonna show you how you can set this up with Enigmatica. So you need two configs. One is the load schematic and one is the manipulate schematic, which looks like this. And I've just set them to numpad 1 and numpad 2. And here we can go into Astral sorcery, and then we can find the Starlight crafting altar, and we can not open the schematic folder, but we can load the schematic. There we go. So then we can go on number 2 and we can just manipulate it. We need to move it downwards. We need to go backwards a little bit and then to this side. And then one forwards, and there we go. Okay, and then that should be, if we just break all of this grass that we need, the thing that we need to set up our altar. One more thing that is very useful, if you go in here and you can show this in layers, so you can see the first layer and you can see that if you haven't mined anything up, and for example, those blocks are necessary. And if you have it set on this, so for example, on all of them, you don't see what the block is below. So setting it on layers is really nice. And then you can just middle click, I think, or shift middle click. There you go, shift middle click to grab the blocks out of your inventory. And you can just go around and build the schematic. Now that we have a fully assembled altar and it's nighttime, we have enough starlight to start crafting some seeds. And for example, Certus quartz. That could be one seed that we need, and I think I will just go and look for tier 2 seed because I have some of them made for tier 2 that didn't require the Starlight crafting altar, but for example, coal seeds do require it. So I'll prepare all of the recipes for this in my inventory, and then we can craft them all one by one. The first seed that we can craft is the mystical flower seed. And there we go. Next one's gonna be aluminum. And then we can do coal. And last but not least, copper. And we have one left, which is the apatite. Boom. So that should be all the tier 2 seeds. I'm gonna toss these in here. We're gonna need to start growing these in garden cloches. So I could probably set up some sort of temporary thing outside here and just move all of the garden cloches and set up a bunch of drawers. That could be anything, but before we do that, we're gonna craft the tier 3 seeds next. Alrighty, as you can see, I have pretty much all of the seeds ready. I don't have the guardian seeds or the rabbit seeds because I don't have the rabbit chunks and I don't have the guardian chunks. So I think we'll go collect those on live stream and make those later. But for the moment, we can start with Skystone and just go zerp. Next, we can go with Aquamarine. And then Black Quartz. For this one, I had to make a bunch of night slime blocks in the smeltery, which was super easy. The next 3 are just lead, silver, and tin, which we already had the blocks for in the system because we're making them with the smeltery, not the smeltery, with the sieves. That's the word that I was looking for. And then silver, but apparently it doesn't show the recipe. No, I have to be in here. There we go. Okay, silver. And tin. And then the Guardian and the Rabbit we don't have, so we're gonna just remove those for the moment. And then Obsidian Seeds required dense obsidian plates. So that should be what we need. There we go. And then the rest that we have is glowstone, iron, redstone, quartz, and nether wart. Or sorry, nether seeds, which look like this. Boop. And I don't know why my wand is going out of my inventory, but that's all right. And redstone. Glowstone. Then nether quartz. And last but not least, iron. And there we go. So that's all the tier 3 that I can provide, or that I can have resources for right now. And then the tier 2s are right here. So let me check the tier 4 seeds and see what we can make in the Starlight Crafting Altar and for what we might need the next tier altar. So pretty much all of these, I think, just require the Starlight Crafting Altar or just a random crafting recipe. So we're just gonna prepare the resources for this. We just need a bunch of Superior Essence in blocks and tier 4 crafting seeds, and then we need tier 3 essence. So I'm just gonna grab a garden cloche and plant one tier 3 seed just so we get a bit of essence, and that should be good. So let's get to crafting tier 4 stuff. First and foremost, Fluix. Then osmium, cobalt, ardite, nickel seed. Then next one is enderman seeds, which require ender casings and blocks of ender pearl. Then we have end seeds. Second to last is lapis. And then we have gold seeds. Boom. I think this looks really cool. It is costing us almost 3000 RF to run. Well, more than that, because 3000 or 2.5-ish is just for this wireless connector, and then not counting the garden cloches. We can even go down probably to our generator and see how much we're actually using, but at least it's running and we have all of the essences in the storage system. I had to use 2 drawer controllers because one wasn't enough to cover the range span of this. So yeah, next time we're gonna set it up in 16 lengths and then we can put a drawer controller in the middle. But the next time is gonna have to be tomorrow. So with that, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'm hoping you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. You can also subscribe to see new videos. You can support me on Patreon as well if you want. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have a great one. Bye-bye.